Alright, welcome back to the Pain Game YouTube channel. Subscribe now for all your combat sports, MMA, boxing, influencer boxing, all that good stuff. Today we're talking KSI versus Joe Fournier, the full card on DAZN. So first off, I'm going to talk about the price, because normally with DAZN, you're doing your £10 subscription per month. And bearing in mind, the last Anthony Joshua fight was included within that subscription. This was £20 pay-per-view on top of that subscription. So you're looking at £30 for this fight. It smells a bit of, all right, real boxing fans, they're going to be a bit of a harder bargain to drive. They're going to be looking for more value. So we have to try and meet their demands as best as we can, included in the subscription. Whereas these YouTube kids, these fans, they'll pay for anything. So we can charge them 20 quid on top of that. For me, if you're going to charge that much money, the card, it needs to be serious. It needs to deliver on entertainment in the ring. It needs to deliver on big names. It needs to deliver in terms of production and entertainment value. And it just didn't. I'm going to be honest, as much as I really like a lot of the people involved in this, I have to be objective and say it didn't. Bearing in mind, that's like £30 all in for the month to watch this. And the last Kingpin event was, what, half that? And yet that delivered more, in my opinion, on every level. But I'm going to get into that more later as I go through the fights. So some of you might know, I'm friends with Boogie 2988, one of the guys who was in the heavyweight fight here. Wings of Redemption was his opponent. Wings of Redemption, very big guy, like built, you know, with big ass shoulders on him. These two went in there and put on a spectacle. It was a very fun fight. I thought it was done in the right way in the ring in terms of not too long rounds. Give the guys time to have a big breather. And Boogie, what an achievement it is for him to get in the ring. And I think that was overlooked a little bit with certain comments online. This is a guy who was 42 stone, wheelchair bound through his obesity at one point. Lost 200 pounds. With all his health issues, he's now got cancer as well. At 48 years old, he gets in there with a guy who's taller, younger, much stronger in my opinion, and more mobile to carry that level of 400 pound weight. They were both 400 pounds in there, but the journey for Boogie to get in there was unbelievable. I'm so proud. I've got him on my podcast. You have to watch one of the best podcasts you've ever seen with a YouTuber. He is the most lovable, adorable, fun guy. And yes, he went in there and he got his ass kicked and he just didn't know where he was for a minute there. And that just happens sometimes. And a lot of people, when you're learning how to box, you're doing it in a boxing gym. No one's there, no one sees. He did it in front of 10,000 people and millions watching at home. I just said to him, look, anyone can get in there and be the guy who's on top beating the other guy up. It's fun when that's the way it is. But when you're the guy getting his arse kicked, it's a man test. And he didn't go down, he kept trying, and the referee had to wave it off. But still, the journey, man. I'm so proud of him. And there's a few comments about how they smelt or on the weigh-ins and stuff like that. And a lot of these fat shaming jokes and stuff like that. And look, I'm all for banter, but you just think to yourself, there's a way of going about it and a way of having fun with these two extra large gentlemen. And I just thought it was done in a bit of a tasteless way. And let's be real, if these were two women who were plus size and all of that, we'd be all body positivity and all of that shite. But when it's two men doing it, we're making this low-hanging fruit joke. So a bit disappointed in that, but I'm so proud of these two guys and especially Boogie. The journey, it's all about the journey. So well done to him.
Patiently waiting.
And here you see here, like, people don't understand when a 400-pound, 6-foot man is belting you like that, it's going to hurt. And Boogie just kept taking them with that big head of his. To be honest with you, these two girls, it wasn't a great spectacle in terms of boxing technique. Neither of them really knew how to box. I think that the tall girl here was a good athlete. The short girl here, Lil Kimchi, was tough, but it failed to deliver on an entertainment level. Now this fight, Virus versus DK Money, really good fight. Both of them knew how to box. It was a competitive, aggressive boxing match where they were setting each other up for counters, and you can see here DK Money putting it on Virus, and then Virus giving it back a little bit, and that was the story of the fight. And really, these two, you could argue, put on the best fight of the night.
Keep popping that jab, pop the jab.
And that was the shot that DK Money caught Virus with, and a lovely judgment of distance. And credit to Virus, showed heart, got up and gave it back. Oh, he just switched up for a second. Fucking hell. Yeah, credit to both men. Epic fight. DK Money, I hope he doesn't feel bad for himself today, because the guy really showed entertainment in there, and this is what we're looking for from these people. Now, this fight was actually really good as well, to be fair. Tennessee Thresh versus Peggy KSI. Both girls showed athleticism, technique, heart, desire. It was a really solid fight and well matched. And I've got to give credit to the matchmakers on both of those two fights. That was tremendous. So Papi versus Anthony Taylor. Now, I think I've figured Anthony Taylor's gig out here, because Anthony Taylor, bearing in mind, MMA fighter, he was a pro boxer. He fought Tommy Fury. He went 4 rounds with him, went to a decision with Tommy Fury. He's a pro boxer. End of story. He's in there with an influencer. His thing is, he's all about the entertainment. I'm the most entertaining guy, right? So you see him at the press conference. He was fantastic at the press conference. You see him on his entrance. He's got chicks dancing. He's coming out looking like the macho man of the WE era or Ultimate Warrior. Very entertaining entrance, but his fights are horrendous to watch. I mean, literally, I never want to see him box again. His job for him is to just get to a decision, win a decision, bank some money. He doesn't give a fuck about entertaining anyone in that boxing ring. And this is what I'm talking about. Sol Papi trying to land some headshots. He ducks right down, holds on, hits you in the body. This is all he does. Horrific, mate. Influencer boxing is about entertainment. The reason pro boxing, a lot of people don't watch, you know, the undercard and that, is because this is the shit you see. No one cares about it, man. Want to see knockouts? Want to see fun fights? Like DK Money, the fight before that. Tremendous. This guy, he claims he's the most entertaining guy. He seems fun, nice, great entertainer on the mic, but his in-ring stuff, I never want to watch him fight again. It is that bad. And the saddest thing about this for me is Sol Papi was one of the few stars that had been built by Misfits, right? These are the kind of characters which you need to protect them. You need to nurture them and build their stars up. You don't want to throw them in there with a guy who's just going to clinch and is going to get a decision against them and devalue what they're building there. And now with Jay Swingler retiring, it's even more important that you protect these guys. So there's been good matchmaking earlier in the card, but this wasn't that. Swarmz versus Deji. Honestly, another disappointing fight, this one. I think both guys have ability. I think Deji, in particular, there's talk from Twitter that he wasn't 100%. I really have a lot of love for Deji. I met him, interviewed him not long ago. One of the nicest guys. But given the fact that Deji was boxing all the way back, you know, when this started against Jake Paul, and the experience he has, this guy fought Floyd Mayweather. In there with Swarmz, who hasn't even been boxing a year. He's been boxing like 8 months. It was Deji being cautious, putting him in the corner, pop, 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 okay, pop, pop, and then Swarmz just trying to land the occasional jab. It wasn't great. And I think Swarmz just needs more time in the ring to believe in himself more, because I don't know why, but he just did not believe he could win that fight from the first bell. I enjoyed seeing Deji in there, but I think we're going to need a step up in competition for him, because fighting a guy with 8 months experience, Deji's beyond that, in my opinion. All right, next fight. KSI, Joe Fournier. And this fight went exactly as I predicted from the get-go. Joe Fournier, 40-year-old, too slow. KSI just I mean, that immediate punch. As soon as I seen that punch land, I was like, everything I thought from watching the training footage is right there in black and white. It's so clear as day. And after all this chat about Joe Fournier being a proper boxer, the guy was terrified of KSI. The guy fought scared. Like, literally. KSI took the middle, dominated the space. Joe Fournier a mile away, and just... he had no business being in there with KSI. I mean, he hits the deck within fucking a minute. I mean, every time he goes near JJ, he looks uncomfortable. He's an average boxer. That doesn't mean he's a bad boxer, but he's just not a good boxer. He's just your average journeyman boxer. And you see the way his footwork is. Them some 40-year-old legs, bro. And it showed. And look, he's not even... Look, he's no... What is he doing, man? Like, he just doesn't belong in there. This is the thing with me, is I see through all the hype, all the build-up, everything. I see through it. I called it for what it was from the get-go. And in that ring, it showed. Literally. Joe Fournier... like, he's so slow, he's not able to react to anything KSI is doing here at all. He's a mile away from him because he's scared to exchange with this kid. So when he is trying to throw, he's missing him because he's out of range. Now, if you're slow and you've got shit footwork, you can't be out of range when you're throwing. Again, KSI beats him to the punch. Finally, Joe lands a single punch in the second round. JJ not phased one bit. Just too easy for him. Joe a mile away, still a mile away. For a proper boxer to be that far away, bro, you had no business being in there with this kid. Boom! And that was the shot that I was talking about. Joe Fournier backpedaling, in trouble. KSI moving in for the kill like a shark in the water when he smells blood. And there you go. Drops him out cold. Now, here's where the controversy comes into it. Was Joe Fournier in any way, shape or form going to win that fight? Not a fucking chance. And actually, the knockout happened in the second round. I predicted within 2 rounds. But what I will say is it was an elbow. It was this punch though. This was the punch that started it all. That big overhand right from KSI, beautifully timed. JJ moves in for the kill. And the reality is, Joe Fournier was already wobbled, hurt, and running away as he'd done for the most of the fucking fight. Now, yes, that is an elbow. So officially, that I guess should be ruled a disqualification or whatever. I'll be honest, I don't really give a shit. Don't get me wrong, like Joe Fournier is within his rights to complain and say it should be overturned, disqualification, whatever. The reality is, mate, you were running away, you were getting your ass kicked, you weren't winning that fight if your life depended on it. They can rule it a DQ, they can do whatever they want. I don't want to see this again. I've seen enough in training to know what was going to happen. I don't want to see this again. I don't want to see Joe Fournier again. Because if you're going to give it all that, and you're going to say, I'm going to come forward, we're going to have a scrap, and then you run away from KSI the whole fucking time, don't show your face again, mate. Don't. This is the best thing for Fournier, is now he's got an excuse. When he's in the nightclubs and everyone's pointing at him going, you're that guy who got chinned by KSI, you go, oh, it was a disqualification. Take that. Because you don't belong in there with these young kids, mate. So, on to Tommy Fury versus KSI. Shout out to this guy, by the way. Very talented commentator. But we're now at a point that we've got no Joe Weller, no me, no Wade. This guy's just doing everything. Commentary wasn't... It wasn't... Yeah, no offense, but like this guy, he does his job, but the guys that they put with him, and it was constantly rotating and that, it's like you just need people who do this next to him, who are YouTube savvy, who are boxing savvy, who can help him carry the show.
I was like, brother, no. It's D-Day. Your soul is mine.
One thing I will say about the way JJ broke the fight down afterwards is how much he was thinking in there. That's a great sign. He really is understanding the game of boxing way better than he ever has.
But what are you going to do next?
Tommy Fury!
Tommy Fury looks fucking huge next to JJ here. Jesus Christ. I really am interested to know what the negotiations are going like, because I know they tend to put rehydration clauses in and all of that sort of crap. These two aren't naturally the same size.
That's never, ever going to happen.
We'll see.
All I can say is, sign me up. Easy money.
Let's
Easy money, baby.
Easy money. We'll see, bro.
Easy money.
This is a mega fight. In terms of Britain, the pay-per-views they'll do for this will be fucking massive. And I've got to give credit to KSI, because if you look at the Jake Paul trajectory up to Tommy Fury, it was more organic. It was like, okay, we're going... He did like a lot of long fights where it was 6-rounders, 8-rounders. He really had been tested quite a lot. KSI hasn't had those 8-rounders. He's just been sleeping people and being like, okay, put me in, I'm ready, boom. It takes a lot of balls to do that. And what I will say is his style is so unorthodox. Tommy Fury will not have fought anyone who fights like him yet. So that gives him something different immediately.
He won't be able to beat Logan Paul.
Yeah.
He won't be able to beat Jake Paul.
Yeah.
He won't be able to beat all these people.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah.
I always prove them wrong.
You didn't beat a pro boxer tonight. I'm the pro boxer. Let's get that straight. I've already ticked off one name in Jake Paul.
Okay.
He's done. He's finished. And you will be ticked off. Like it or not, you will be ticked off. And Misfits is going to be over.
Tommy Fury brought it there with the Misfits is going to be over and all of that sort of stuff. It's great trash talk this. These two are going to put on a show.
No time.
Yes. Oh, we like it. So, a good ending to a show that just could have been better overall, I thought. But the ending was very entertaining. It's a shame about the elbow, because we just wanted that clean win for KSI so that no one can moan about it. But shit happens. It feels like they're struggling in terms of building stars. Like we're seeing in the weigh-ins, Derek Chisora squaring off against another pro boxer. Is this really the road? Like, pro boxing fans have pretty much had enough of Derek Chisora. He's pretty much done in that scene. Why then put him into Misfits when what do young YouTube boxing fans care about Derek Chisora for? You're going to pay him a fortune? For what? It's not the idea. And then you're trying to like make that Pineda kid who, let's be real, is just a bad boxer who became a meme. And now he's coming out singing the whole thing. It just feels like it's just a scattergun approach now. And losing a Jay Swingler, who was one of the only other people who carried a main card, who main evented and carried a card. And then now Sol Papi taking a loss. I really think that they need to think about their strategy moving forward if they want to have longevity, because Derek Chisora is not the answer. And then you've got like these gimmicks that they're creating for people like this pizza delivery guy, and also I just think that like things like the weigh-ins, we need a bit more class. just going down a weird road. Like there's WE weird, which is like high quality, high production, well thought out, and then there's just the scattergun approach, and I feel like we're going for that right now. So I hope that they can turn another corner in future and put on a bit better of an event, especially in terms of in-ring fights. But we'll see. I can't lie, Tommy Fury versus KSI is going to be a hell of a spectacle. It's going to be so fun. But what they do underneath that card, it needs to be better than this, especially for 30 quid. So that was Misfits 007. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'd love to see some early predictions for Tommy Fury versus KSI. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. Watch my podcast with Boogie 2988 over on the main channel when it's out, and I'll see you on the next one.